Hello friends, it's Cindy Brumbaugh from CindyLeeBDesigns.com, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you a little technique that I learned at a Stamp-A-Stack. My friend Sarah had made a card that had these different 1 by 2 inch strips of scraps of paper, and I got home and I put it together and I was a little off and I couldn't figure out what I was off, but I think the measurements, I can get very technical with my measurements, and then I used the same technique on some other scraps I had, and I still wasn't getting it off, so I kind of redid my measurements so that they worked in my little bit compulsive head of mine. So I wanted to show you how I did that. Okay, so it is a great way to use up scraps, because I'm telling you what, when I get a paper like this, the Traditions of Christmas paper that has all this beautiful gold accents on it, I literally just have to use this side, and I literally just can't cut in to use these sides. But whenever I have little scraps left over from using the real pretty side, I don't mind using the back side of them. But sometimes when I see a card on Pinterest that uses, say, a whole big 4 by 5 1/4 piece of this, I just can't believe that they covered this up. So I actually had these little scraps, and I'm going to show you how I did it. And like I said, kudos out to Sarah for this technique. I just changed up the measurements a little so that they worked in my head. Okay, this one I used the traditional labels here, and that's what Sarah used, and then I used a ribbon under there. Now I'm going to show you here, doing the same thing, how you can use up these scraps, okay? Now, as I said, I am a person who thinks in 1/8, okay? 1/8 is that whenever you make a card, and say you make this card, this section here on a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, this piece here that's 5 1/4 by 4 leaves an 1/8 on this side and an 1/8 on this side, because 2/8 is a 1/4, right? So you think of it as this DSP is 4 inches, and these two other pieces add up to a 1/4, okay? So when you see a typical A2 size card and somebody does that perfect border that way, it's usually an 1/8 of an inch the whole way around. So that's what I wanted to do on this card. So I cut all the pieces that Sarah had said to do, like 1 by 2, 1 by 2. But then when I started putting them together, I realized why I was a little too close on these sections, which is okay. You would just have them touching, but I wanted the same amount around it. So this is how I did it. Okay, you're going to start out with 3 patterns of strips, okay? And I chose these back patterns because I had used these in my Busy Bee bag. I used this pretty one here, and we used this poinsettia, and we also used this real pretty print. So I had these strips left over, and you may, if you're one of my Busy Bees, have those pieces left over. So what you're going to do is you need those 3 patterns, and 2 of your patterns are going to be 1 by 2. So they're going to be a 1 inch by 2 inch piece, okay? So I did 2 of them, 1 by 2, and then I did another set, 1 by 2, and then the other set that I put in the 2 corners are actually 1 inches, but they have to be 2 1/8, 2 1/8 to actually make the grid the way my goofy head works, okay? So once I did that, I added up all the numbers, and I came up with this piece being 3 3/8 by 4 5/8. Now, if you're looking on a ruler, okay, let's see if we can see this here. Okay, you have, let's just look between 2 and 3. You have 16 little marks there, and then right in the middle, there's 8. So if you count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you see you have, okay, I don't want to confuse you. Okay, so you have 16. So in the middle is 8, and then in here it's 4. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 to the quarter, right? So if you have that, you have a quarter. So it's 4/8 is a half, then 2 of them is a quarter, right? Okay, that might have been a little bit confusing, but you're counting by these little tiny increments here, okay? There's 16 of them, right? So if you're right here at this one, you're at 14, 15, 16. 16 would be the inch, okay? So right there is 7/8 because that's the 14 mark of the 16 spaces. And if you reduce that, that's 7/8. So if you start at 2 and you go over 2, that's an eighth. And then that's a fourth. And then there is 3/8, 4/8, which is a half. Okay, so just remember each two of those little tiny ones is an eighth. So we're going to cut our paper to 3 1/8, okay? 3 1/8, as you can see, is 2 of the right before the half, okay? That's 3/8, this is 4/8 at a half. So 3 3/8 that way, and then this way is 4 5/8, and 4 1/2 is 4/8, and one more of the eighth is 5/8. So you're going to cut a piece 3 3/8 wide by 4 5/8 high. Okay, so that's my measurement there. And then I take my two pieces that I cut that are 1 inch by 2 1/8, and they're going to go in these corners here on this white here. Okay, so they're going to go in the corners with 1/8 of an inch on the side and the top and bottom. Then I'm going to take these 1 by 2s and I'm going to get them picked up there, and they're going to go the dark. I liked using these pieces because, as you notice, my color palette, I'm using Secret Sea and Real Red. This pattern has the green, red, and Secret Sea in it. So now I've got green, Secret Sea, and red here. And then I'm just going to put, you could either put these two together, or you could put them like patterned like this. But the two that you put here, or if you switch this around and you made your card the other way, like say you wanted to do, let's put it this way. I guess it's the same that way. But if you, say you did it this way, say you wanted to do the corners here, and you wanted to switch them, just make sure your two pieces here are the ones that are 2 1/8 long, because once you put these together, you've got 1, 2, and you have that eighth in between. So you need a 2 1/8 piece here. Okay, so we are going to, do I like it that way or do I want it this way? Like I said, it doesn't matter which way you do it, but the 2 1/8 tall have to go down in the corners. Okay, they could be in these corners or these corners. So let's see if we have any glue here that is functioning here. You know me and my glue. So we're gonna put this these glues drive me crazy. Ah, whoa, that came out all right. Okay, so let's maybe just get glue on both of these. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna put these in the corner up here. I'm gonna try to eyeball it here, but 1/8 of an inch. Now, if you want to, you could always cut a strip of cardstock 1/8 of an inch and just lay it against the top of the white, and then that'll give you the actual measurement there. So we're just gonna put that 1/8 of an inch on the side and the bottom, and 1/8 of an inch on this side and the top. Okay, and then we're gonna put these ones in. Now, this was the glue that was working for us. Okay, then I would suggest putting, see, I don't mind covering up a little bit of gold, but oh, don't ask me to cover up a whole portion of it. Now, let's see here. You can see that I'm getting, I want to line up this, so I'm getting 1/8 of an inch here and about 1/8 of an inch on the side. Now I'm going to put this guy in here, and again, it's okay to cover up a little bit of gold, but And you'll know you're doing the right direction there because your these pieces are going to be lined up here, because this was an eighth of an eighth, and you needed to have that extra eighth up here to compensate for this. Okay, that was just my idiosyncrasies here. You know, one of those goofy things that, you know, how certain people like to do certain way, you know. So that's just how I liked having it's sometimes I really do like tight borders on cards, but sometimes when I'm doing them, my head just spins. So I blame it on myself. So you can see here now how they all line up. Okay, because these were one, that makes 2, and in here, that makes an eighth, 2 and an eighth, and that made this one a 2 and an eighth. So it's really simple when you're going to make these. Just do your strips, and remember, you need 6 of them, and 2 of the patterns are going to be 1 by 2, and then whatever pattern is your third pattern, make it 1 by 2 and an eighth, and then you'll put it on a 3 3/8 by 4 5/8. Now that means you're going to put it onto a piece of a border that would be 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. Okay, because we added an eighth and an eighth. And remember, this was 4 5/8, so it just easily goes up to 4 7/8 and 3 5/8. And so that is what we're going to do, putting it on the Secret C. Then I'm going to show you a fun thing, and like, it's crazy how certain times you're doing things, and I was driving, I had like a 2.5 hour drive today, and I was thinking about this card and doing the numbers in my head and how I was going to do it, and wondering if I could find this card that I had done. And then I'm going to do that same thing on the inside. I'm just going to, I usually don't get this fancy when I do the inside, but I actually made the white the same size as the outside white, 3 3/8 by 4 5/8, and then I just put the put it on a piece of Secret C that was 3 5/8 by 4 7/8, and then I just centered it on the inside. So it really is like, has a neat look when the recipient's opening it. They're seeing that same pattern there. Okay, so what I'm going to show you here, like I said, I used the traditional labels here in that shiny, real red shiny ribbon, but on this one I was going to add a little glitz to it and use our gold mesh striped ribbon. But I wanted to show you this really fun Christmas words collage dies. Now, I have to make a public confession that the Thoughtful Moments hybrid embossing folder, that's very much like this one, I actually loved using it for my foils. Like, they really make a fun foil. I mean, it pops out, you can really see it. I didn't like it as much with the cardstock, but the foil, I really did like it. But there's something different about the words in this one. I do believe that these have like it's like an outline of them, and they just worked a lot different if you ink up your thing, other than the other one had the letters were all puffy, they puffed up, whereas this one, when you put the ink on it, I'm not sure because I didn't work with that other one, but I'm going to ink up this embossing folder. I'm going to put the die. Normally you would look at your folder and the Stamping Up logo is on the outside. I think of it as like a book. I open it up, I can see that on my left side that logo is touching my table. It's on the outside, right? And then you put this die. It doesn't clip in, it just fits in there. It doesn't clip and stay. Sorry about the table there. So, and then you put your paper, close it, roll it through your embossing. Like, you put the paper in here, you could roll it through your embossing either this way or this way, but make sure you use the bound edge going through your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. But I'm going to show you how to make some really fun letters here. I do have to find a piece of white here. I should have been prepared there. I do have a piece here. I'm going to cut a 6x6 piece of white. Here's a big piece of white here, and I'm going to cut it 6x6 to match the embossing folder. Okay, so I'm going to do that real quick because I didn't do it before. I thought I had a piece of white here. Okay, and then I'm going to do 6x6 because that's how big the embossing folder is. Just makes it easier. I mean, if you only want to do one word, that's fine, but why not just do them all? Okay, so what you're going to do again is okay, I didn't glue that on there. Okay, I'm going to open up once again. Here's Stamping Up. The logo's on the outside. I'm opening it up, and I'm going to ink up the side that has the Stamping Up logo on it. Okay, and that's on the outside of it, right? And then I'm going to take my Secret C. I think that'll be a great color. This gets a little messy. Where do I have a piece of paper that I don't mind getting messed up? Oh, right here. Isn't that convenient? Okay, this is the back of the label, my label paper. So I'm going to ink up these words here. You can see how the words are popping out. Okay, and you will get a little bit of ink on the embossing folder, but that's okay. Okay, so you've inked up that side. Now I'm going to take my die that I cannot get off the table. Let me get a... Okay, now I'm going to put this on here. Okay, I'm gonna lay it. Trying to keep my hands on the die. Okay, now I felt it go in there. Now what I'm going to do is take that 6x6 piece. I'm going to lay it right on here. I'm going to lay it and not play around with it. I'm just going to, it's kind of nerve-wracking. Okay, I'm going to start here, put it down, don't touch it, close it. I think I just moved it though. I think I just messed it up. Oh well, we'll see if it's going to work, okay? I'm going to put it in my Stampin', I hope it works. Stampin' Jesus, please help me. I'm going to put it with the plate, with the piece, the thin plate adapter out of it, and use my gray number 4. You might still have. And then I'm going to run it through my embossing folder. And I just hope that it does work for me here. It takes a second to get it through there. And if you think that me touching something wiggles the table, if I was rolling this, I sure hope this turns out because I think I did touch it. Okay, now, okay, I'm going to lift this up here. And like I said, I have a mess here, but look at the words. Is that neat or what? Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. And look, I do have ink all over here. I have to wash this off, but look at these words. How cool is that? I do believe that our other embossing folder had puffied up words, and it didn't have the same effect, but I'm gonna have to get out and see those. But now look at these great sentiments here I have. And really that was, even when I thought that I had moved my paper, I bet Stampin' Jesus really helped me on that one. So now I'm just getting all of those, and literally every single one of them turned out perfect. See, it does pay off to ask Jesus for everything that you do in your life. And I am so happy here. Okay, so I've got all those. Like I said, you have a little cleaning to do because you got a little mess here, but I'm going to sit that aside. And I think one of them went flying, but I just want to pick a sentiment out now to put on the front of this card. Okay, I'm going to glue down this piece here. Come on, you know how to come out of there, glue. And actually, this might be fun to have popped it up with dimensionals too. Sometimes that just adds a bit to it. Okay, so now we have that. And I want a nice big sentiment. I mean, Season's Greetings is great. This Merry Christmas, I love that. You might even, ooh, Happy Christmas. That looks good on here too. Some really fun sentiments. And because I'm using the dark, but I would even probably think that, oh, Holly Jolly. But it would even be cute to put like a circle on here too. But I think I'm going to, Season's Greetings a little bit on the smaller side. Let's see. I think the Merry Christmas would be great. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of ribbon the way I did with the red one. I'm just going to cut some of this gold. And there we go. And put, where is my, I'm going to put a little bit of, I think I can just put dimensionals on there. Let me get my dimensionals out of here. So that's going to get popped up, okay? Oh, did I see something that said with love? Oh, yes. Couldn't I do that? Merry Christmas with love. I love it. Okay, so let's put some dimensionals on here. What a quick way. My Stamp-A-Stack, we did a card, but I just did all the, I just made all the, I rolled them all out in gold. And it, boy, it made it for quick. I think I only had to run like 2 or 3 of them to make all of the cards. So, and my friend Sandy called me tonight, and she was trying to figure out how to get it to go through and didn't know if she had the plates the right way. And so I said, well, hey, let's just FaceTime this, you know, and I'll show you how. And then I said, make sure you watch my video tomorrow because you'll see, I wish I had some red. I mean, do you know what? I think I might rip this red out of here because, but I haven't taken a picture with it yet. But I have to tell you, I don't have any red ribbon with me right now because I have it all packed. Okay, so how does the gold look on there? Nah, I don't like it. What do I have over on my ribbon thing here that's red? You guys take a look at that card. Oh, I found some red. Here we go. You know, we always have red. Here's red, and here's, oh, this is an old one. Oh my gosh. Do you guys remember this really pretty silky red? That could be pretty on there. Or this could be pretty too. Remember this ruffled red? But I think I'm going to use this red. It doesn't matter if it's retired. It's still beautiful, right? And you guys have it. But oh gosh, I love this ribbon. This ribbon has got to be 8 years old, I bet. It probably is. Okay, so I'm going to put that under here. But I think I need one more dimensional here. But I love the fact that this was a card made with just scraps. And especially the scraps that I didn't mind. You know, hiding. Now, let me see. Let me get that bigger so that it actually flattens there. And then Merry Christmas right in the middle there. I really, really, really love that shiny ribbon. It is really, really pretty. So there we go. And we're going to put the with love here. Is that straight? No, I think I want to bring this up a little bit here. Right in the middle. I think I need actually more dimensionals on there. It's kind of looking a little wonky. So I'm going to stick another one there, and then another one over here. I think I need a little bit down there too. Sometimes when you don't put enough of the dimensionals on, it there's just something that doesn't look right. Like it's not. So let's put some dimensional. I thought this one was a little bit too close. let's just trim them off a little bit. Let's make this video that I thought would be 15 minutes, 35. But look at all of these extra sentiments I have. That is amazing with one of those embossing folders. Okay. And so let's put that right in the middle there. And it really made a difference popping up all of that. And I think that this would look cute on there because it is a simple card. And so if you just put this extra little love to it. Oh, look at that. That is so cute. It does look really cute. So you could do something like this with I love this banner on here. But you can see how the difference of having the border a little bit bigger, and it's a little easier to work with in my opinion. So just write those measurements down, and really, I mean, if you haven't, like I said, I'm going to go back and look at the Thoughtful Moments hybrid one because like I loved doing that, but I don't think you could get the word. I don't think it had the outline on it. I think it was just all puffed up when you inked it, and that's why I was maybe not so excited about it. So this was really super cute technique to do with your scraps. So I hope you'll try it. And then, like I said, I'll probably, oh, here, why not put, what did we put here? Merry Christmas with love. You could put something, you know, in here too. You could also put something here like 'Tis the Season. What would go good with that? Merry Christmas with love. Merry and bright, good tidings. Oh, good tidings to you. How about that? You say Merry Christmas with love, good tidings to you. I like that. I think you can do that. So we'll put that on the inside here. And would we put it down here? Yeah, then you can write your message. And you don't have to pop this up here. So look how fun that is. Thank you for putting up with my little doodads here. But I think you would really find this embossing folder Christmas words collage. Let me see. What was that called again? It is right here. Boy, do I have a mess over here. Christmas words collage dies. The Christmas words collage. Those go with the Christmas words that have the real pretty insides to them, that have the two-tone, like the bold and the light. I've done a couple cards with those. Okay, thanks for buzzing by, friends.